8 Darkest Powers in Anime. What do you think is the darkest power in anime? Is what you thought here in this video? Surely it is. But to really find out, you have to stay here until the end, because I'm going to show you only the most chilling ones of all. Guys, practically every anime has powers. They can be simple powers or even the most complex of all, but practically all of them use powers. However, not all powers are good, like superhero powers that give more strength, more resistance, more speed, or more intelligence. There are powers that were scary just to imagine. There are powers from easily tearing out hearts to being able to kill anyone with a simple touch or with a simple notebook. Come with me, and I'll show you all these terrifying powers in this video. But don't forget to subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and give it a like to support our project, okay? Heart Ripper, guys. Killua was from a family of assassins, meaning the guy was well trained to kill everyone with extremely brutal techniques and skills. The most extremely brutal, without a doubt, was the Heart Ripper. He simply found a way with his hand and bam, he took the heart out of the other guy's chest box without him even noticing. Of course, he didn't use this power every time, because then his fights wouldn't be any fun, but it must have been horrible to fight against a guy with such a power. You had to be alert all the time. Deadly touch. In Bungo Stray Dogs, Fyodor Dostoevsky could kill anything that cast shadows with a single touch. He touched you, you died. Fyodor was even against killing people, but when he had to kill, the guy would use this power of the deadly touch to save time and energy. There's nothing darker, more macabre, and more obscure than a person with such a power. No one in their right mind would have the courage to get into a fight against a guy with this power up his sleeve. Inevitability of Time Berrigan Lysenbairn used one of the most different powers of all, but extremely efficient. Guys, he used the inevitability of time, meaning he could rot all things or turn them into dust. The guy released a cloud of instant death from his mouth, and everything in the path of this cloud was sent from this world to the next. Captain Soy Fon's arm was one of the things that got in the way of this cloud, rotting to the bone marrow. The guy was already creepy and terrifying, and then there's this extremely OP power, making it a total overkill. Ghoul cannibalism. I know it was rare for a ghoul to resort to cannibalism, but it happened, since they became stronger after feeding. Guys, even Ken Kaneki himself resorted to this power, eating another ghoul's flesh to gain new powers and become tougher than ever. But it had to be well done. You had to give that flesh a good saute to get that tasty taste. Because if it went wrong, the guy who resorted to cannibalism would start going crazy and attacking people he normally wouldn't attack. It was high reward with high risk. Either you become badass and normal-headed, or you become badass and completely crazy. It was your lucky day. Creating Philosopher's Stones. The creation of a Philosopher's Stone in Full Metal Alchemist was never actually shown, but we know very well how these little stones were made. Guys, to make just one stone, it took thousands of hundreds of human sacrifices, meaning each stone was a collection of doomed souls. These stones had the ability to increase all the powers of whoever used them, turning the user into an immortal being. But would you have the courage to use such a stone after finding out what they were made of? I highly doubt you would have that courage. Death Note. This one was by far the darkest of all. Man, being able to kill a guy just by writing his name in a book, it was extremely unfair and very scary. Not to mention that whoever wrote in the Death Note could even dictate how the target's death would be. Light was an expert in dealing with people with this devilish tool. The guy used it in the most creative and darkest ways possible, even betraying the people who trusted him. He used it. He understood very well how to use the notebook and went on to kill everyone, turning it into one of the coolest and darkest weapons in anime history. This simple little notebook was totally overpowered.